This is Paul Jarchian, and you are listening to The Budhole with a D.
Welcome to the official Budhole podcast, bringing you everything you need from sports to entertainment. Now, introducing your host, Scott, the Great Brandino, Gage's Rage, and Star Lamar.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the official Budhole Sports Podcast. This is episode number 166, coming at you live from Brandon's Budhole. What's going on, everybody?
What to do?
Nothing much. What to do? And we're watching right now the Washington football team versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it looks like Washington just locked up what could be a W. I just spoke, so it's going to probably not happen now.
The first loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. That's a pretty big
That's
moment.
what it looks like. Game's not over yet.
And before we crack the mics, Brandon was talking. What were you saying, Brandon? Washington's underrated. They're sneaky good.
Yep, that's what I said. Literally what I said. Word for word.
I think you said, you know what, you guys? I really think Washington is sneaky good, underrated. And I said, you know what, Brandon? You're seeing things real clearly right now.
And they're doing it without Gibson.
Yeah, they
for
are.
a vast majority of the game. And Terry McLaurin's kind of been a non-factor. I think he's playing injured right now.
Can I take a little page out of Gage's book here? Alex Smith is not bad.
Washington defense is not bad.
No, they're good.
They
Washington
only
defense
have,
good.
1,069 first-round picks on that defensive line?
Yeah, kind of like the Browns' whole
took
team.
They took Chase Young. They got 1,070.
So they have been mocked in mock drafts, taking a quarterback in the first round as a top 10 pick almost this entire year. Alex Smith, if he wins this game, is 3-1 as a starter since he came back. Do they need to draft a quarterback, or do they just lock up Alex Smith?
Not in the first round.
It depends
Still
on who's
need
there.
a quarterback, though.
Yeah.
How many more years do you think Alex Smith has?
He's like 34, 35.
36.
He came out same year as Rodgers.
He's at least 36. He might be 37 now. I'll look it up.
Yeah, you do that quick. But they still have Alex Smith under contract for 2 more years after this year.
Do they?
Yes.
You need to draft a quarterback, though.
You definitely need to draft one, but not a first rounder. You could draft one in
He's
the
36.
second or third.
You're not going to go anywhere with Alex Smith. I'm sorry, but I don't see them winning a Super Bowl with him. And if you're going to draft a guy, you might as well get your guy. And if you have a top 10 pick, you might as well, if you can get Fields, I don't know, he's probably not going to be there at 10. Who's that India? Trey Lance? There's a couple other guys sneaking up the draft boards. I mean, Mahomes went at 10. If you can get somebody at 10 like that, and you don't know if you're going to get a Mahomes.
I don't think there's anybody like that.
You don't know if you're going to get a Watson.
There's a couple guys in this draft that I would say are, quote-unquote, like Mahomes.
There's big arm guys with good potential.
Trey Lance would be a perfect type of guy to draft and stick behind Alex Smith. I think Trey Lance has all the physical tools, but he needs to mature as a person.
I hope Alex Smith doesn't get Patrick Mahomes again.
The other guy I think that would be a perfect fit to put behind Alex Smith, and Stark could probably talk this a little bit better, would be Trask from
Florida.
I think he'd be a good guy to stick behind Alex Smith as a high draft pick. But Washington's not going to have a top 10 pick, you guys. This team's going to the playoffs.
It sure looks like
the Giants are not better than this Washington team.
The Eagles are trash. The Cowboys are trash. This team is going to be tied for first place after they win here tonight.
And I'm sorry,
but they do have no tiebreaker against the Giants.
That is true.
Which is, if they end with the same record, the Giants beat them twice.
That's true. But the Giants have Daniel Jones, who's struggling right now. He's injured. They have Colt McCoy, who by some miracle beat Seattle this weekend. Can we talk really quick about Russell Wilson? Like 4 weeks ago, was being talked about as an MVP candidate. MVPs don't lose to Colt McCoy.
No.
Let's just get that out of the way.
You have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and you're losing to Bradbury.
And you have one of the best head coaches in the NFL currently.
Here's the thing. I could understand their defense letting up points. I don't, not necessarily to Colt McCoy, but their defense is bad.
They didn't even let up that many points.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say is their offense was so bad.
Yeah.
How do they not get the ball going anywhere against that defense? I get they have that Bradbury, who's pretty good, right? What's his name? It's Bradbury.
Yeah, James Bradbury.
Daniel Bradbury.
Yeah, she's my crush from The Voice.
Yeah, that's who that is.
This is The Voice.
What was that, 2014?
Something like that.
Gage, hit us with it.
This is The Voice.
All right.
That sounds like a smoker's being.
But Bradbury's good. I can see him shutting down one of the two guys, but they should have been able to get either Metcalf or Lockett open somehow.
Yeah, Joe Judge is coaching a good defense right now. That's for sure.
The Giants' defense is much improved. It's not a bad defense.
Hey, guys, this game's not over.
But as far as Russell Wilson MVP hopes, it's dead. Dead in the water. Done deal.
It's
you
over.
don't lose to Colt McCoy and win MVP. You just don't. Back to the Washington football team, though. I think between Alex Smith and their defense, and then they have McLaurin, Logan Thomas is an okay tight end. Antonio Gibson's playing like potential rookie of the year. I have my own take on that.
No.
I think the rookie of the year is in Minnesota. They have enough
Cam
pieces on
Dantzler.
offense, and they also have the defense that's a top 5 defense. Washington's defense is a top 5 defense in the league. So I think the other thing is, though, if I am Seattle, if I'm the Rams, the Cardinals, the Bucks, I don't want to have to go to Washington round 1 and play this defense and this running game in a cold weather game. It's not a team you want to play. I'd much rather play the Giants.
The football team or the Giants, either matchup in their home stadium is going to suck.
I think the football team or the Giants would be a lot more scary if they had Saquon.
Yeah, for sure.
Their offense is just so nah.
I don't want to be playing in New York in the postseason.
That's fair. Just because cold weather, snow, shit weather.
That team, that history, not for me.
They haven't had very much luck since an infamous picture was taken. So
Wouldn't you rather
Boat
play
2.0?
against Daniel Jones
Miami
though
Gate.
than Alex Smith?
as a Vikings fan, if we were to make the playoffs, I would rather go to play New York than I would Washington
I
at
would
this
too.
point in time.
For sure.
I feel like Chase Young and Montez Sweat would take Kirk Cousins' head off.
That front seven would crush our offensive line.
Yeah.
Eek.
Okay, so what else happened in the NFL this past week? We'll just kind of rapid fire it really quick.
Well, I had a question. You were kind of already alluded to it a little bit.
MVP.
Yeah, the Russell Wilson losing to that takes him out of the MVP. Does Justin Herbert putting up 0 points against New England take him out of offensive rookie of the year?
It really hurts him.
I don't think it eliminates him.
But it really hurts him.
Really hurts him. I think JJ is swinging into that number 1 rank there.
I don't think you can throw Gibson in there with Robinson having the rookie season he's having.
Yeah,
That's fair.
You
That's
can't
fair.
leapfrog a same
Better
position
running
that's
back.
having a better year.
The only reason I mention Antonio Gibson in the Rookie of the Year conversation is he seems to be picking up steam. He obviously got hurt in this game here, Washington versus Pittsburgh.
The game is on.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to foreshadow it for the listeners because they're going to be listening when the game's not on. So, Antonio Gibson, he's arguably the best player on the offense for a Washington team that's in a position to possibly go to the playoffs. I personally feel like as a rookie, if you help your team get to the playoffs, that does hold some value. Like
some.
I don't think it's everything, but if James Robinson, I have an absolute love and affection for the guy. I think he's a stud. I watched him yesterday against the Vikings. I love everything about James Robinson. He can catch the football. He runs really hard. He reminds me so much of MJD.
Slightly bigger.
Just a bowling ball.
Damn.
But I think Antonio Gibson being mentioned isn't out of the question. Is he higher than James Robinson? No. In my opinion, no. James Robinson is having a ridiculous season. And we got to remember, he was undrafted. And he's been an underdog his entire life, James Robinson. He wasn't recruited highly out of high school, and he put up like 9,000 rushing yards in high school in his 4-year career. Obviously wasn't looked at very closely out of college. Like, he's been an underdog his whole life, and the guy's a stud. But, yeah, Antonio Gibson's playing good.
Well, if you're
That's
looking
what I would
at
say. I think Justin Jefferson is hands down the favorite right now, though, to win Rookie of the Year.
Gibson has come on late, and he's getting a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's setting him apart. He's got 645 yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground.
Gibson?
Nothing through Gibson. 32 through the air, receptions, 233 yards. So not a ton through the air, but he's getting some work.
But he has almost 900 all-purpose yards.
Yeah, but Robinson has 900 rushing yards, 968. And then he's got another 310 through the air and 9 total touchdowns.
Robinson's... It's not that far off, though. It's not like... you got to remember, Robinson's been the starter since week 1. Gibson's kind of been babied into it, for lack of a better term.
Well,
But
I think this
can
same
you
could
win
be said to
Same
Urban.
yards
the
per
offensive
attempt.
rookie of the year with a shorter time frame? If you come on week 10 and have an amazing week 10 through week 17, and someone else had a great
season.
week 1, yeah, are they giving it to you based off of a 6-game time frame?
The thing is, you got to remember this. Gibson's got the touchdown. Gibson's got the touchdown mark over Robinson right now. He's got more touchdowns.
And over Jefferson.
Yeah, that's fair. But the yards aren't that much different. I mean, it's 300 extra yards for Robinson, basically.
I think
But Gibson's also got the 3 extra touchdowns.
what you would have to do at the running back position is massive, and same with the wide receiver position, to take this from Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be the rookie of the year.
You think it's
Until-
so difficult for an outside of quarterback position to get it just because quarterback is quarterback?
Yeah.
What did
Justin
Josh
Jefferson's-
Jacobs end with last year?
I'll pull that up real quick.
You want to see Kyler Murray versus Josh Jacobs, their stats?
I kind of want to compare Josh Jacobs to
Because
Gibson
Kyler
and
the
won,
guys
correct?
this year, yeah.
Jacobs, 13 games, 1,150 yards, 4.8 yards per attempt, 7 rushing touchdowns. It doesn't show me his receiving. I'll have to pull that up in a different spot. I'll get you receiving here. in a
Almost 5 yards a carry. Wow.
Yeah, Robinson and Gibson are both getting
Right around 5 as well.
4.6
Okay.
each. So let's see. His receiving last year looks like 27 receptions, 175 yards.
Yeah,
And
he's
these
not a
stats are via
Pro Football Reference, the only
Shout
place
out
to go.
Football Reference. So he actually wasn't that impressive considering what we're looking at this year.
Yeah, Robinson's having,
Much better year.
yeah,
Well, there's
maybe not as many yards, but
4 games left. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or
So
5.
4 games left for him to get another 200 rushing yards.
Or 4.
I think he can do that. He's already got more yards through the air. He's going to have more rushing yards as long as he can get an average of 50 a game, which he's been doing better than that throughout the year. And he's got touchdowns beat.
I bet Herbert's having a better season than Kyler did last year, though.
I can look that up.
statistically,
Yeah. Where
Justin
it would look-
Herbert's season statistically is absurd right now.
he's
that's
going to
even
break
if-
like every
Rookie
rookie record.
record.
Yeah, and that's
Which
even
makes
if you,
it seem like they have to give him that award.
Exactly. Being a quarterback.
Where do the duds land you, though? Like, if you have duds that fall off that much, like this past week,
I think this would be Herbert's like first real dud.
I think he dudded last week as well.
I wouldn't say this would be his first real dud, but this was bad.
It was a bad one.
He had 316 yards, so he had a lot of passing yards. 1 touchdown, 1 pick,
Last week,
2 fumbles. Like, that was a bad week. Yeah, last week. This week, 209 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks, no fumbles, anything like that. But
Do trends not matter though? If you remember last year, Josh Jacobs towards the end of the year he got hurt a little bit. He tailed downwards.
he missed like the last
Or-
2-3 weeks, I think.
What would you call it? He trended downwards.
Yeah.
Whereas last year, Kyler Murray at the end of the year trended upwards.
So
Does the trend at the end of the season matter at all in voting?
I think so. Recency bias is a big thing.
I think it matters too.
when I'm looking at the stats on our yearly fantasy football league,
Yep.
this is his lowest weekly score since week 3 against Carolina when he got 14.7. Last week he got 16.4. But besides that, he's been over 20 the rest of the year.
So last week, the only thing that kind of knocked him back, and 16 is still decent at quarterback, was his 2 fumbles then.
Yes, yep. He had a turnover, he had the interception, and then the 2 fumbles. So I mean, he had 316 in the air. Didn't rush for anything, but still was able to get that low floor of 16. I think he's a really good quarterback, and he's going to be a threat in the NFL for a long time.
What would it take for an offensive lineman to win Rookie of the Year?
There's no chance.
No chance.
No
yeah.
rookie quarterbacks.
Or
Yeah.
never
Or running
giving up a
back.
sack.
No rookie position.
Even then, I wonder if, because like Jedrick Wills is having a great season for Cleveland. Not even mentioned.
No. They just don't get enough stats to ever be considered for rookie of the year. Like, you could average 6 pancakes a game, give up no sacks all year, and you wouldn't get it. you would be talked about as a monster of a rookie. Quentin Nelson had a great rookie season. He was never even considered.
Yeah.
That position just doesn't get it.
No.
And why is Rodrigo Blankenship not considered for it?
That's actually a good question, although he's tailed off a little bit too, has he not?
Yeah, he's missed a couple game winners recently, right?
With the goggles, people just don't see it.
They won last week.
Pull up really quick, though, just to humor us. Pull
well,
up Justin Jefferson's. Okay, you got
fourth
something else?
in the league in receiving yards currently.
Oh, you already
is
did
Justin Jefferson. Trailing DK Metcalf by less than 100. Travis Kelce by less than 100. About 70. And Tyreek Hill by 40. Third highest in receiving yards. He's got 7 touchdowns, so I think that's kind of what's holding him back just a little bit. Let me look up his receptions.
He didn't play in the first 2 weeks.
I know, exactly. And he's still up there.
I kind of want to plant my flag in the ground here really quick. I don't think it's fair for us to sit and talk Justin Jefferson in a vacuum versus other rookies. I think you can legitimately argue him as a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. He's that good.
I don't think I could go
Scott,
top 5.
I don't personally feel he is a top 5, but he's playing like
Then
a
why
top
do you
5
say
wide
that?
receiver. Because
Scott.
what I'm saying
Should we
is
play
he's
Would
closer,
You Rather with Scott?
he's closer to
Yeah.
a top 5 wide receiver than he is
Bottom 5?
to be compared to these rookies. I think he's much better than Antonio Gibson. I think he's much better than James Robinson. The only rookie that I would maybe take over him is just because he's a rookie, Justin Herbert. That would be the only other rookie. Justin Jefferson's hands down the best rookie receiver out of all these guys, and there's some very good rookie wide receivers.
So, would you rather?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll play it.
DK Metcalf or Justin Jefferson? This is not for fantasy.
DeAndre
this
Hopkins
is for,
or Justin Jefferson.
This is for the Minnesota Vikings.
You shouldn't have said that one first. You should have said that one towards the end.
Stop, Scott.
Well, I get it.
DeAndre
because
Hopkins or Justin Jefferson.
I think I like Justin Jefferson better than DK Metcalf. I really do.
I'm done playing this game, I think, because
Star just won.
Would you take Justin Jefferson 101 in a fantasy startup dynasty?
As a
That's
football
exactly
player,
what he just said. He
no,
just said that.
I did not. No, I did not.
2 QB Superflex.
Listen.
Tight end premium.
There's a difference here in the sense of DK Metcalf is with Russell Wilson from a fantasy perspective. It's different. As a football player, Justin Jefferson's clearly a much better route runner than DK. DK Metcalf is an absolute freak when you talk about a deep ball from Russell Wilson. Like, that connection's there for fantasy.
Not
but as a
last week.
football player, Justin Jefferson runs better routes than DK Metcalf.
this
Justin Jefferson is a top 10
Touchdown
route
dances,
runner
way better.
in the NFL already.
JJ?
Yeah.
So if I have to take one of those two
I
on
like
my
DK's
team,
anime girl.
I feel like Justin Jefferson's a more dynamic wide receiver.
Kyler Murray.
that's kind of hard for me to hear just because everyone considers
year?
DK
Last year.
the next coming of Calvin Johnson, basically.
Got it.
I'm just saying, I think Justin Jefferson does more things really well to where if you put a Jalen Ramsey on him, he has a better chance of having a good game than a DK Metcalf, in my opinion, because he's such a good route runner.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Randy Moss or Justin Jefferson?
That's not fair. Randy Moss is HOF.
I think we got one game without Adam. I think we need more games without Adam to see how good he actually is, because he is the second option, especially in the red zone.
But he's only the second option because Kirk has more chemistry built up with Thielen.
Okay. Jefferson is a very extremely talented player, but
Facts.
I don't think he's top 5 consideration yet. I need more of a history. I'm taking the Star Lamar approach here. I want
Proof of concept.
He needs 4
Bangers.
years of history in order to accept that.
Let me
value.
just ask you this, Gage. If you're
because everyone was saying this about Star Lamar last year, and
No, no,
Lamar
no.
comes out this year and absolutely sucks ass.
let's put this in a let's keep this context
Lamar Jackson.
going.
I'd rather
Not
have
Star Lamar.
I'd
No.
rather have
Let me just ask
fucking
you.
Ryan Tannehill
Let me just
this
ask
year
you. If
over
you're
Lamar
if you're the
Jackson.
Minnesota Vikings general manager, would you rather have Justin Jefferson as your wide receiver on your team right now, or Tyreek Hill? If you gotta have one of those two, which one would you rather have as a wide receiver on your
Jefferson
team?
because I'm a bobo.
Well, I'd say Jefferson because he's got the height. He can still do the route running. He's fast. He's not as fast.
So then why is it so asinine if you were to say Jefferson over DK Metcalf because he's more dynamic as a wide receiver? It's not ridiculous to say it. Now, would you say you agree? Maybe not. That's fair. But Justin Jefferson as a route runner is ridiculous. As a rookie.
What wideouts would you take over JJ?
I think Devontae Adams, I would. Nuke, I probably would.
That's the first one he names.
He comes straight to a Packer player that he ripped 3
Marquise
years ago.
Valdez-Scantling. Alan Lazard.
I would even take
Robert
Robert Tonyan.
Tonyan. Such a great route runner.
Equanimous St. Brown.
I'm trying to think outside of
Donovan
Sternberger?
Peoples-Jones. Oh, wait,
Devontae
wrong
Adams.
team.
I'm trying to think of who I'm forgetting.
Jarvis
here.
Landry. He's got the
You
one-handed
got
catching
Mike
ability.
Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. You said Adams.
Any of the Tampa Bay
I
receivers.
would still take
Any
Michael
of the Saint
Thomas.
receivers.
I wouldn't take Godwin over Jefferson. Mike Evans, I maybe
Any
would.
of the Atlanta
Keenan
receivers.
Allen?
Julio Jones.
Keenan Allen at this point, I would maybe take over Jefferson.
Julio at this point, I wouldn't take.
Julio,
over.
no. Calvin Ridley,
Not at his age.
probably not. DJ Moore, I don't think I'd rather have DJ Moore. I don't think it's so ridiculous to
Most
say that
explosive
you
player in
can
the trade.
argue Justin Jefferson. You guys are mixing fantasy with NFL players, right? Whatever. Gage, this is why you're fucking losing the Budhole Spread Bet. You don't know how to.
Guy gets
segue,
roasted,
right?
and he just points fingers instead
there's a
of
difference
accepting
between
defeat.
real football and fantasy football. There's
Real
a
quick,
distinct
real quick.
difference.
I did want to talk about Herbert versus Kyler Murray because Herbert is having a year. He's got 3,224 yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 9 picks. It doesn't matter what Jefferson does. He's not going to beat him.
I think he will.
You want
Let's do a Budhole
it?
bet.
What was AJ Brown's stat line for his rookie year?
There we go. AJ had a few scores.
Would you rather have AJ Brown or Justin Jefferson?
Personally, I would choose AJ Brown.
Give me Justin Jefferson.
I would rather
Really?
have Justin Jefferson, but my
absolutely,
point to that
yeah.
was, I think they're having similar
AJ Brown to Kyler
seasons. No,
Murray.
As
Their rookie
rookies?
season.
yeah, AJ Brown. What did AJ Brown end with?
They're similar, but he had 4 more games on him. A.J. Brown had 9 less receptions at 52. He's only got
Over the entire year?
over 16 games. 11 started, 16 games. He had 84 targets, 52 receptions, 1,051 yards, 8 scores. He had a little bit on the ground, 3 for 60 in the touchdown. So he's less than 20 yards ahead of him. He's got 9 less receptions and 1 more touchdown.
11 games started, though.
On 4 less games.
So
Or,
when you count
5 less started. He
Jefferson's
played
11 starts.
He had 16, but Justin Jefferson started out slow.
Yeah.
He wasn't involved in the offense the first few weeks, too. So, I mean,
Well, Justin was on the field, though.
Yeah, he started
played
game
in them.
1.
Justin Jefferson has played in all the games.
He didn't become.
but I think
focal
A.J.
point.
Brown played in all of them, too. He just didn't start in all of them.
So what
Which
was
is-
Kyler Murray's stats?
But
of his
A.J.
rookie
Brown was
season?
brought on slowly, kind of like Jefferson.
Jefferson has got 12 games, 10 starts.
No. What was Murray's rookie season?
No, I know. I was just fulfilling my duties of comparison. Last year, 16 games, he had 3,722 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, and then where's his rushing stats? Rushing, he had 544 yards on the ground and another 4 touchdowns. So 24 total touchdowns. Looks like 9 turnovers. Make that 12 because he fumbled 3 times. Lost it.
So Herbert's a better passer.
Yeah, but I don't think that was necessarily the question.
And
Kyler Murray, he's short and got the small hands. I think
Let's
that-
play a
Do we
little
wanna
game of
Budhole
would
bet
you.
this?
Let's play a game of Would You Rather. As a rookie quarterback, Kyler Murray or Justin Herbert?
Herbert.
I think you have to.
Herbert, yeah.
It's a sweep. Herbert. Everybody would rather have Herbert as a rookie. Now,
He's breaking all these records. Now, even long term, I think I'd go Herbert because if Kyler can't, I mean, his second year, let's look at it real quick. 12 games.
And we have to almost look pre-injury and post-injury. He has not been the same person since he messed up his shoulder.
yeah, but you know what? I think Kyler Murray, because of his size, I think injuries are going to be a real thing for his whole career, and that's why I go
Yep.
Herbert for sure over him.
Herbert's got that size I love.
5'9" and 3/4. It's tough.
That's a lie, too. I don't even think he's that tall.
He's like 5'8".
He looks so small on the field.
His completion percentage has gone up this year. With 4 games left, he needs another 800 yards. He's not even throwing as many yards as Herbert has so far, and Herbert didn't play week 1. He's 22-10, which is kind of that same pace he was at last year. A few more touchdowns. I think he's doing more on the ground so far, but I think at his size and his type of player, those mobile quarterbacks, unless you get like a Russell Wilson, if they can't form into a good pocket passer and have that presence with just the mobility to escape if you need to, they don't succeed long term.
Which I think he does. I don't think he has the offensive line for it yet, though.
Oh, I would agree.
I think he has been able to mask one of the league's worst offensive lines so far
With
this year.
Kyler?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Herbert and the Chargers don't have a great offensive line either.
I think it's fair
That's
to say,
fair.
though, regarding
That's
the NFL and offensive lines, it's very difficult to get a very good offensive line. It's almost impossible.
Not everybody can have a Bradbury and an O'Neal
God.
and a Cleveland and a Reef.
And
just
Doja.
and
Don't
just
forget
flex,
Samia.
Just to flex left
Mr.
guard.
Drew.
Throw him in there
Nobody
when you
has
need
so
him.
many good offensive linemen that they just decide to flex out the left guard position. It's like, oh, we'll just play this guy this week and this guy that week, and we'll still be a top 5 running, bottom 5 pass protection offensive line. Throw in a little bit of Brett Jones, sprinkle
Nothing
a little Dozier
to
on
address
the top.
here. All right, this actually segues into the Vikings pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's talk about
Literally
And
talking
what
about him.
I would like to do is something Scott mentioned. I would like to apologize for my treatment of Mr. Kirk Cousins.
Captain Kirk.
He has shown in the last winning percentage of games that he cannot fuck the game up and win us a few when no one expects us to. Brings us back to 500. Is he the quarterback that will win us the Super Bowl? I don't think so. But he's making this 2020 season a lot better.
So eloquent, Gage.
Fuck that guy. He threw the pick 6 right at the start of the half. I blame him for Cook's fumble. You got to put it in
That
the
was
bread
bad.
basket. He's shoving it at his chest on the goal line. Fucking A.
I just
Put
want
me
to.
at
I just want to
quarterback.
say before Brandon cracks the mic here, because Brandon's going to throw some Kirk love at Kirk as he should. Kirk Cousins right now is the, I want to say the 5th highest paid quarterback in the league, and he's right now PFF's number 4 ranked quarterback. So he's technically
Outperforming!
underpaid.
Outperforming.
He's underpaid right now.
50
He's
mil.
6 and 6.
Couple things before I get rolling on my tangent here. I love how the Star wasn't that adamant last year about how Kirk Cousins was that bad. He didn't jump in on that screaming match we had for an hour. And now the tables have turned.
Yeah, now he's the one banging the table. He is horrible.
Star
He
goes,
does suck.
Star goes, fuck that guy.
I humbly accept your apology.
On behalf of Captain Kirk.
Welcome back to the Vikings.
I always got purple right here. Purple's always right there.
I would agree. He's probably not the guy that's going to win the Super Bowl. We know what Kirk Cousins is. He's good enough to stay in the games. He's shown he can lead back a couple fourth quarters, being down, facing some adversity, granted against bad teams.
Yep.
However, he's been doing it, staying poised during the game. Like you said, those turnovers, not great.
They suck.
The pick this past week, the fumble for a touchdown against, who was it?
Carolina.
That, I don't know. That was just a good play on the defense, in my
The
opinion.
2 safeties early on in the year.
Those are totally on
Shit
him.
happens, okay? The pick this past week, I saw it just a little bit, so I don't know. It looked like Cook didn't turn. It was a little thrown behind him. Whatever. It's an interception. You can't call that back. It was a pick.
You got to remember, too, that regarding the pick, Kirk was getting his ass kicked.
Handed to him.
To think that he was going to just try and dump that off to Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook should have been looking there. Now, it's Kirk's fault, ultimately, that he threw it. But for him getting his ass kicked like he was and they were bringing pressure, for him to throw that, I don't think is the worst throw ever. Obviously, the worst result happened out of it.
Earlier in the season, he put together a lot of statistics coming back in the fourth quarter of games that we had no business even trying to score points anymore. So when they say he has the best fourth quarter numbers, yeah, we were down by 4 touchdowns, and he got a couple in each of those games. The last 5 games or so, we've played bad teams. We've played the Cowboys, the Lions, the Bears, the Panthers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to go on some soapbox about how this guy's great until he does it against Tampa Bay and New Orleans.
I would say this about Kirk Cousins. His play has been part of the reason why the Vikings are now 500 again. He's been more of the reason why they're back to 500 than he was the reason that they fell to 2-5 or 1-5.
So it's not Justin Jefferson. It's Kirk Cousins.
Oh my God, you guys are fucking something else.
Somebody does have to get him the ball.
Kirk Cousins MVP, baby.
But I would say this regarding Kirk
He's
Cousins
making
as
Justin
well.
Jefferson look
Hey,
great.
if he were to lead us to 10-6 into a playoff berth, is he in like top 3 comparison?
No, MVP is playing right now. Josh Allen, baby.
You guys, we're in a real situation with the Vikings right now where if Kirk Cousins leads the Vikings to the playoffs once again, and let's say we go to New Orleans and knock off the Saints again.
Oh my God, no.
Let's say we knock off the Saints again. We're in a real position where Kirk Cousins could be looked at as the second best quarterback in Vikings history immediately from that point forward. Like, Kirk Cousins...
Behind Teddy Bridgewater?
It didn't matter if it was
Behind Case Keenum?
Sean Mannion starting against the Saints.
Joe
We're going to
Webb.
beat them.
Frank
Behind-
Tarkenton.
Brett
What do
Favre?
we do to the Saints in the playoffs? Since they cheated, we beat them.
I'm just saying.
Take him out behind the woodshed and we kick the shit out of him.
If you think you're
Put
going
him
to win
over
this
the
game,
barrel and show him the 50 states.
this last play, you're going to know who's going to win this game. It's not going to be you.
But
I like that.
I do want to say regarding the Vikings, I don't think any of us truly know what the Vikings are right now.
And do we know what the Kendricks injury is?
Strained calf.
We won't know anything until Wednesday when they take the practice field again.
Knowing Zimmer, it's probably nothing, but it's season ending.
It's a tweak.
Allowing
Stop.
Todd the full week of practice will be good for him.
Kendricks, I would be willing to bet money Kendricks is going to play against Tampa.
The linebackers didn't look bad against the Jacksonville
They didn't
team.
look good.
Yeah.
You throw in Michael Pierce, Anthony Barr, and Daniil Hunter on that defense.
Watch the fuck out.
What is our record?
I think we're
3 more wins.
I think we're about there with Green Bay. I think we're 8-3 ish. 7-3, 8-3, whatever we would
9-3.
be.
We lost
9-3, I think.
a couple
So,
nail biters.
Does Anthony Barr ever play for the Vikings again?
Yes.
No.
He will take a restructured contract and he'll be on the team because him and Zimmer are like.
He's going to San Francisco.
But brothers, closer than your next of kin.
But brothers.
I don't know the rest of
Moving
the
on.
song.
I've never even heard that song. Is that Justin Bieber?
I don't know.
it's-
It's Brandon's special.
It's Blood Brothers, and it's by
Oh.
Luke Bryan, but it sounds like Butt Brothers. See if I can play
Way
it.
better edit.
I would say he probably does play. Like you said, restructured contract. You add those 3, we beat Seattle, we beat Tennessee, and we beat the Falcons.
Do we beat Dallas?
We probably beat
Yeah.
And
Dallas.
probably beat Dallas. That's
Whoop
4.
up on Dallas. But they have the
But
same
you could,
deal.
I would say you could still throw in one of those games, most likely Seattle, just because that's how it's gone for us in the past. That's the game that we probably still would have lost.
Well, remember, none of those three would be the reason why he does not, why Madison does or doesn't hit that open hole on the 4th and inches.
Well, yeah.
So
An interesting wrinkle to throw in there as well is we weren't looked at as a very good team in those games. Had they prepared for
Played
us differently, it could have been completely different. We might not have won that second one against Green Bay because I feel like that was a trap game for them that kind of put us on this path to get back to 500.
Yeah, but what that also was Dalvin Cook completely just taking over a game. And you got to remember that Green Bay game, it was extraneous conditions as far as the wind was ridiculous, and nobody could pass. And Dalvin Cook was the best player on the field with the quarterback position being neutralized. I'm never going to apologize for a win in Green Bay, but it was the perfect storm for a win in Green Bay. Dalvin Cook went berserk. What just happened here in the game?
Diggs got taken back behind the woodshed and murdered by
That's not a
Armstead.
penalty.
They threw the flag.
But it's behind the line of scrimmage.
Dude,
You can't
can't tackle a
clothesline
wide
a guy?
receiver like that.
There's
While he's out
contact
on his
allowed.
route?
You're not allowed to do that.
He's not on a route. He's running behind the line of
There's
scrimmage.
allowed contact. What you can press
Within
right?
5 yards of
You can
the
press.
snap.
You can't clothesline the guy.
You can't straight up tackle a wide receiver. Even
No.
if you guard him and you're right up on there, you can't go up and just tackle him.
You can jam him, but you
Yeah.
can't take him out.
What if he falls over when you jam him?
And he fell over from being
That's
jammed.
That's not a jam. That's a different
He
story.
literally
He
just
jammed
stuck out
him
his
with one
arm
arm.
like a cartoon, and Diggs flopped over it like he ran into a wall.
I think it's a bad call.
Diggs needs 3 touchdowns. I would say, so a couple things. Like you said, stats are, Gage just said it from before. Stats are stats.
Stats suck.
They can prove a point and they can negate a point real quick because Kirk Cousins doing all that in the fourth quarter while we're down, defense playing a little bit more of a prevent.
It's
they
like
might
the
not have
Detroit
their starters
Lions
in there.
stats forever. They're always down, so they always have good stats.
The passing game looks great. Nonetheless, he's still got to complete those. He's still got to make those comebacks. He's done that in these games. He's got the first or second most air yards per attempt, which is him and Patrick Mahomes are 1 and 2. At least that's what it was last week. He's got the highest fourth quarter passer rating, which regardless if it's against bad teams, it's still impressive to do. And it's now his 6th year in a row throwing for 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns or something like that. Only 5 players in NFL history have done that 6 years in a row. Not even Aaron Rodgers has done that. He's been injured, which has played a role in it, but that still means he's on the field and he's doing the same shit. I don't think he's not our guy for the next 10 years, but he's getting the job done right now. That's all you can ask.
Kirk Sember. It's taking over.
Let's do it.
Fair enough.
Well,
What else? Okay, this is actually very unique for this week specifically. It's Monday night. If you listen to our earlier episodes, we had 3 games from after Sunday. So we have 2 Monday nights and a Tuesday night game.
that's correct.
This is true.
Very true.
And it's actually a lot of fantasy relevant teams.
This is true, too. This is a nice segue, Gage. I like this.
So I am looking at my lineup, and I still have 40 points on my starting lineup after Sunday is completely done. Sweating bullets all day today, but knowing I have a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, a lot of players yet to play, it's just such a weird feeling this week.
I like it. I do. I don't know if I'd like TuesdayNightFootball.com every week, but I do like Tuesday Night Football.
I don't love it. From a fantasy perspective, I don't like it. It feels like every week has just kind of blended together.
Yeah, there's no separation
watching
anymore.
Wednesday and knowing that there was the same week as Thanksgiving
Was just too
seemed
much.
weird.
That was a lot.
That's too far. But
Yeah.
let's say they got
Those
rid
were
of
6 days apart. And they
Get
were the
rid
same
of
week
Thursday
of
for
football.
Tuesday.
or get rid of Thursday and throw 2 Monday night games out there.
But for instance, you guys think about this. We watched Washington play Thanksgiving Day. We didn't watch Washington play again until tonight. Washington
That's
didn't play
typically
for
what they do, though.
14 days.
Yeah, if they have a Thursday night game, they'll have a late Sunday or Monday night game.
Your math is...
Am I whack here?
10
yeah,
days.
It's not
you're
14,
way
yeah,
off.
10.
It's 10.
10-day break,
Or
though.
maybe 11.
Friday, Saturday.
Whereas in the same realm, no. This was part of my greater point. We watched Pittsburgh just play Wednesday, and they turned back around and played Monday night.
And that's why you picked them.
That's exactly why I picked Washington.
Yeah, for our Budhole Spread Bet.
Which, should we get into that a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
The Budhole Spread
Sure,
Bet? Let's
might
really
as
quick, Brandon.
well.
Brandon's the last Budhole member in the Guillotine League. Brandon, what's the status of the Guillotine League?
I'm on life support.
You texted me yesterday and you're panicking. You're like, motherfucker, my tight ends are screwed. Jonu screwed me.
Oh, yeah.
Jonu Smith
Yep.
fucked me. And I'm like, what do you mean he fucked you? You're like, he's not playing. I'm like, oh, fuck, he fucked you.
Well, so here,
Oh, fuck.
a little background knowledge for anybody who hasn't been a part of a Guillotine League. After last week's waivers, going into this week, your roster locks. So you can't pick up free agents. You can't drop guys. There's no trading unless you turn that on for a private league, but we didn't have it on. So whoever I have is who I have. Now, I picked up Mark Andrews. He's on COVID IR. I had Jonnu Smith. He was out this week. So that means I either keep Jonnu and Andrews and pick up another tight end, and I'm rostering 3 tight ends, which takes away from having another wide receiver or running back, or I drop Jonnu, pick up another tight end, and then I'm banking on pretty much Andrews or this other guy as being my flex. So he did screw me because I would have been locked in with 3 tight ends. I could have started all 3, but
Why would you?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. So, a couple
27 points on the bench.
With JJ. Yeah, I left.
Brandon left a top 5 NFL wide receiver on his bench.
So
to play Steph Diggs,
who just got clotheslined.
Okay.
And Cole Beasley scored the touchdown that he should have had.
DeAndre Hopkins or Justin Jefferson.
Wait, who did Nuke play?
JJ.
Nuke
You
played
heard
the Rams.
Scott wouldn't take JJ over DeAndre Hopkins?
This week, I would have played JJ over Nuke. Nuke is going to draw Jalen Ramsey.
Keenan Allen against the Patriots or Justin Jefferson?
JJ.
Not the way that
You made every wrong choice, Brandon. That's why you're going to get eliminated.
I'm just saying, I had 4 stud wide receivers, and fuck you, okay?
Here's
the
deal. I think it's fair to say, though,
curse.
that based on matchups, Jefferson should have been played over both of them, or you could at least make the argument.
Nah, not against
Definitely
Jacksonville.
Diggs.
C.J. Henderson, I don't know if I'd start Jefferson against him.
The worst ranked secondary in the league.
I wouldn't do that twice in a row. No.
I seriously think Jacksonville is ranked 32.
Wow.
Their top 4 cornerbacks were out.
That's a real thing. They were number 32 with the top 4 cornerbacks.
Guess who didn't pay attention? Okay, me. All right. So, anyways, I need Diggs. I'm down like 17 points, maybe something like that. I need Diggs to get that and outscore Amari Cooper, which is very possible because Cooper is probably going to be out this week.
That's fair. Because you have inside knowledge,
because
right?
I need him to be out this week, so he might be. It's a good possibility. It's possible.
So that's the Guillotine League standings. There is right now 5 teams left in it.
Correct.
The official Budhole podcast has 1 member currently alive yet.
Very, very, very lightly alive. It's barely a pulse.
The pulse is barely registered.
He's on life support. The Friends League, really quick. 3 of us are gearing up for the playoffs. I officially dropped Brandon from any hopes of playoffs, so Brandon's going to lose to me.
Honest to God, it's such a good feeling. I don't have that pressure of being like, man, my team sucks, and every week just hoping and praying. It's a sigh of relief going into fantasy football and just being like, you know what? I don't have to worry about anything.
It's the
Did you get 12th?
I'm not going to get 12th.
No.
That guy should definitely lose.
I'm going to lose. It's the inevitable, of course, it's your own team, so you're going to have a little bit of delusion as far as, you feel like, oh, my team's not that bad. But, you're 11th. You're in 11th place. You've won, 3 games? Your team's not that good either. Or wait, did you have 5 wins? No, you have, 3.
I have 4.
Okay, 4.
But here's the thing. I do have them still. They're still playing. Derrick Henry. Running back number 3, DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver number 7, Adam Thielen, wide receiver number 9, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver number 14. That's all solid at my skill positions. An RB2 and Jonathan Taylor, although it only happened 2 weeks out of the year. And Evan Ingram, I think he's tight end 12. So I have positional players that have been ranked over the season, not week to week.
It just hasn't come together at all.
But again, like I mentioned podcasts ago, we don't need to go into it too much. I've drawn some bad luck playing. Well, Derrick Henry against Ryan Tannehill, and I go up with the touchdown. The Bills fumble the kickoff. The Titans are up 14, and they pass a touchdown in and pull Henry off the field. That type of stuff happened to me all year. I'm okay that it's over.
Can we
I'm not upset.
Brandon, a little bit here? You're ranked number 2 in strength of schedule.
See?
And the only person that you're behind in strength of schedule is the Thompson football team. You literally had the second most points scored on you in the entire league this year.
I drew bad matchups. I also scored, and maybe not after this week, but I have more points currently than both Scott and, I'm 2 behind Gage's rate. So I'm
Fuck you!
I'm right there. But I've also had whatever. Fuck it. It's not worth.
You're not going to have outscored. You're not going to have outscored me by the end of it because I'm going to have you beat here.
Congratulations,
40.
Star Lamar,
Thank
on
you.
the points challenge total winner this year. I'm officially out of it. I'm going to Venmo you your money right now.
I knew I lost. I Venmo'd you.
3-0 and between you guys taking home the points 4 challenge feels good. Now there's only one more thing I need to do.
Lose to me in the playoffs?
Where's the status of standings looking as, though? Who do you guys think you're going to be playing off against in the first round?
I
have
even
no
looked.
idea. I'm in the jumble. I'm hoping I'll be 7-6.
Are you going to win this week?
Yeah, that's the one I was in the close matchup. I only had 50 points into the after Sunday, but now I'm at 63, almost 64, and he's projected 72. So he still has Cooper yet to go, but I have Zeke. and the lead. So
damn it, you guys had a lot of fucking games left to play after yesterday.
that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
It was so nerve-wracking. Like, all right, Sunday Night Football's done. Let's check, in the morning, Monday morning. And I was not feeling good, man. Looking at 40 points over Sunday games.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good representation, though, that we got 3 out of the 4 into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean,
in our whole league.
It's impressive.
That's exactly what the ratio should be with 8 out of...
We'll give a really quick update on the...
Just wish it was 4.
We'll get into the yearly pick'em really quick.
God, yes, let's get into the yearly pick'em. I'm super stoked. Fun week. This game is great.
Yearly pick'em?
Or are we doing the Budhole Spread?
Yearly pick'em first,
this
then the
game
Budhole Spread Bet.
Sucks.
So Brandon picks up another win with the Washington football team. They got 5 now.
Yeah.
Gage is third from first and 34 points.
Yeah.
Brandon is second from first with 38. I am currently now 6 behind Star
Passed you up
Lamar,
last
who's
week.
starting to run away with this at 54. And Star Lamar has 60 wins. His Vegas line for the entire year was 65.5, which you could hit already as early as next week. It'll probably be the week after. You're most likely going to hit your Vegas win total, your Vegas over-under, with 2 weeks left to play in the season. Crushed his Vegas over-under.
Let's go.
Not bad.
And now, where Brandon wants to do a
Rub
little...
it in, why don't you?
Brandon wants to do a little fluffing of the feathers.
This is the real game.
The Budhole
You
Spread
pick
Bet.
teams at the beginning of the year. You don't know injury. You don't know what's going to happen with COVID. You don't know people who are going to be starters later in the year, whatever. This, you're picking week to week, and it was a really good week, too.
The Budhole Spread Bet for week 13, which is our second week of doing this. I do have a little twist that I'm going to add in here at some point that'll kill you.
Oh, we're going to make up rules as we go?
No, it's a little twist. I'm not going to
First you were making up points
That
for
sounds
me.
like a made-up rule.
I think it'll get a unanimous agreement.
If
We're not
your
going to
worst-
add it in without you
Your
guys
worst
agreeing.
performance of the week, you could throw it out.
If your name starts with sk and ends with ot, you get double points this week.
It wasn't my worst performance. I had a good week with the
I said
Washington.
you get one worst performance every week to throw out.
Oh, no. It's way different than that.
You get to pick one game to double up on your points.
So here we go. For week
I'll
13,
double my Chargers pick.
the week
Should.
13 leader for points in week 13 is Brandon. The great Brandino came in at 39.5 points this week. He got minus 7.5 out of Arizona.
Bitches.
He got plus 2 out of New Orleans. And he got 45 out of New England, who he took even on the spread. 45 points is the largest winner so far in the Budhole Spread Bet.
Nobody took the Chargers, right? That was bad.
Actually, that's a good thing. That's a good question. Yeah.
Someone
Gage's
did.
Rage took the Chargers and
Yes.
lost 45.
You did not know that was going to happen in that game.
He literally just picked opposite of me.
Which is a total of a 90-point spread.
Which is what I said in the group chat. I was like, you know what? Just to make it interesting, I'm going to take opposite of Gage. It was interesting for
Yeah, it
sure.
hit.
Gage's Rage still has Buffalo going in the game, the Monday night game here that we're currently watching as we record this.
What are they?
They're
Favored by?
1.5 point favorites. So these numbers are not yet locked in for the week. Star Lamar came in at the week 16.5 plus 16.5. He got 7 out of the Jags. He got 7 out of Detroit, who upset Chicago. And he also picked up 2.5 out of Indy, who was 3.5 point favorites. They won by 6. And then me, I actually cashed in and went positive overall with Washington beating Pittsburgh earlier tonight to net me 14. I netted for the week 4.5 points. Going to the overall standings, I'm still in first place after that game at 28.5. Brandon is officially in second at 21. Star Lamar's at positive 8.5. And Gage's Rage is bringing up the rear with negative 53.5. Now, I'm going to propose my rule change.
I thought
Not
we
a
were
rule
playing
change.
golf.
Minus 45 on one game. That's not a bad over-under.
But I do want to add in one thing here that I'd like to throw out there. What do you guys think of adding in 1 or 2 times 2 multipliers?
I knew he was going there.
And
I
you
knew
can
it.
pick the game you want to add them into, but you only get 1 or 2 for the rest of the year.
And you pick it before the game's played.
Yes. You would pick it when you make your pick. If you feel really good about a game, you'd go times 2 multiplier. which would then kick in whether you go plus or minus, it would be times 2. Who's a fan of that idea?
I was thinking for next year you do one for each quarter of the season.
So you would have one for the first 4 games.
What? Yeah, one for the first 4, one for 5 through 8, and so on through the rest of the year. So I guess technically there's 17 weeks, so one through the last 5. But
so do we want to do one for the rest of this season?
Yes, but can we pick one game from our past to double up first?
Okay. Gotta have the guts.
So how many did we decide we're going with?
1. If everybody's good with 1, we'll do
multiplier.
You get 1 times 2 multiplier.
Cool.
You get to pick the week.
You get
to
pick
the game.
And
any game you want.
If it goes bad, it's still multiple negative points.
Yep. So it can
live or die by the double, baby. I
real
like
good
it.
Or real bad. It's a gambling man's game.
You ever get 8s up and double down blackjack?
Splits?
No, not 2 8s. The 4 and a 4.
2 4s are like 6 and 2.
Yeah, or 7 and a 1.
I'm not doubling 8s.
Well,
I'll double a 9.
I'm doubling 8s.
I'll double 45.
Fuck, that would have been a good one.
You know damn well if we would have had the times 2 multiplier, you 2 jackwagons would have done it.
No, I wouldn't have.
Gage would have been like, you want to double it? Brandon would be like, fucking sure, why not? Brandon nets 90. Gage goes in the whole 90.
I would have got him to take the Tennessee game. I thought that was a good pick for me.
I didn't want Tennessee out of the Browns game.
I'm wondering what I should do going forward from here. I kind of want to slow play it. Just stay.
This is the thing now. You move up 1 draft position now. So now Gage is picking first. This is another thing we should maybe clarify. Do we want to have the draft order based on points for the week, or do we want to have it based on overall points?
Overall
standing.
That's what we had agreed to originally. I just want to make sure that we're all good on
just
that.
Because Gage had a good week doesn't mean he's a good team.
So Gage will have the first pick now.
Which picks
we don't make picks obviously live on the podcast. We'll make them later in the week when the Vegas line's more established because there's still games to be played.
Fair.
Gage is at the first pick. These picks will be posted to Facebook for anybody that wants to follow along. Go follow Official Budhole on Facebook. Gage gets first pick this week. Star gets second. Brandon gets third. I get fourth, snake style.
Yep.
So let's go. With that being said, should we look forward a little bit to some upcoming matchups for the next week of the NFL? Week 14, right? That's what the week is?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest one, most prevalent, Vikings. Tampa Bay,
Minnesota.
Not just because we're homers, but if the Vikings beat Tampa, they beat the Bucks, then we're gonna move into the 6th seed instead of the 7th seed. We'll move ahead of Tampa Bay because we'll have the head-to-head matchup against them.
That's pretty wicked.
And we'll be 1.5 games up in the wild card picture. Period.
Which is good to be at. And I think who is sitting at 5 right now? Is it the Rams?
No, Seattle.
The Seahawks.
And they lost
8 and 4.
8 and 4.
They faced the Jets this week, the winless Jets.
And that's a trap game.
That is a trap game, especially because Greg Williams is gone now. So when the Jets are up at the end of the game, they won't all out blitz.
Can we talk about that for 1 second?
I think they lost on purpose.
Is it fireable? Is that a fireable offense?
Yes.
Because he got fired.
Yes.
I think it's fireable offense.
Fire Adam Gase. Fire him. Fire the GM. Fire Darnold.
He did it perfectly, though. He went out guns a-blazing.
Whoa. Did you just say Darnold?
Yeah, everybody.
They're going to fire Darnold because of it, because they're going to get Trevor Lawrence.
Would you swoop in with a Ziggy Wilf private jet and trade for Sam Darnold?
Trade deadline's up.
What happened to Kirk being the 4th best quarterback in the league?
No.
He's
I'm
underpaid.
saying no. I'm saying, would you trade for Sam Darnold to put him behind Kirk Cousins and see if you can't develop him into something?
No.
You're out?
He sucks.
Where do we land at?
I don't think he sucks.
32nd?
Let's assume the Vikings are anywhere from 24 to 32.
What do you have to give him?
Not a first. Probably a third.
I'd take him
Let's
for
say
a
you
third.
give him the Ngakoue third that you picked back up.
Yeah. Did he make... He didn't make the Pro Bowl, did he?
Darnold?
I doubt it.
He will after all the people opt out.
No, not
all
Darnold.
32 other players.
It's going to take 33 quarterbacks to opt out for Darnold to make it.
Well,
and even then, he's an alternate.
Yeah, then Kaepernick had to say no at the end.
Peyton Manning had to turn it down as well.
He was hosting the ESPYs that night.
I'm serious, though. Like, would you be at all interested in Darnold for a mid-round pick?
I seriously decline.
I would take him for a mid-round pick, yeah.
I would too. Would you rather have Sean Mannion or Sam Darnold? I'd rather have Sam Darnold as my
I guess
backup.
Darnold there, but
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That's literally what I'm asking.
not for any kind of pick. If you can get him off the streets for less than $1 million,
You're not going to get that, though.
All right, listen to this. 3,073 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. 3,300 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 1,250 yards, 13 touchdowns on the ground. 820 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground. 1,039 yards in the air with 7 touchdowns. 613 yards in the air, 11 touchdowns. Those are the top performers from the Vikings and the Buccaneers. Vikings have better top performers.
Oh, I was like, what are you reading me right now? I was so mindfucked. I thought you were reading me Sam Darnold stats. I was like,
yeah,
Scott looked
No,
at Gage. and
I
he's
stopped
gotta be
listening
like,
to you guys.
Listen.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, that's not
Brady has
surprising.
barely better statistics than Cousins.
This is the only thing, though, with Brady, is the teams that have given the Buccaneers issues have been able to get pressure up the middle. The Vikings get no pressure up the middle. I'm a little concerned about that.
And we've never beat Tom Brady.
No, but we've given him a run for his money. The last time we played him in Foxborough with Kirk
tease
Cousins, we gave him a run for their money.
We've
No, we
never-
didn't.
Yeah, we did.
I was at that game.
Were you?
We did not give him a run for his money.
I thought it was like third quarter and we were within a field goal before it got out of hand.
And it was a sad game. And it was cold and rainy. And we weren't playing very good.
And you wore your Randy Moss Patriots jersey?
I wore my Chad Greenway away jersey. Rocked it.
Did we? I thought that we gave them a run for their money. I could be wrong.
Were the fans nice to you? Like, hey, sorry, bud.
No, they were not mean to me, though.
Oh, okay.
A lot of them
No,
just-
they're an asshole.
Just asked me why I was a Vikings fan. And I said I'm from Minnesota. They're like, oh, you came all the way for the game? Sure.
Sure.
That works.
Um,
And the crab cakes.
Okay, but yeah, looking ahead at this week's games, Vikings, Tampa Bay. Right now, I think Tampa Bay is 8.5-point favorites according to ESPN Stats and Information.
Yeah, ESPN has
6.5.
them at 6.5.
Gage, is that going to be your first pick of the
It's
week? Vikings
enticing.
plus 6.5.
I kind of want to pick one, but I feel like that one might make it a round or two.
Value. You can get it for better value. Some of the other big lines of the
Man,
week.
it's tough. I pick third now.
Kansas City.
What do you do here?
Is 7.5-point favorites over Miami. I feel like that could be a game that Kansas City gets a run for their money. Miami's a very good team.
These Jaguars that took us to overtime are 7.5-point dogs against the Titans now
Divisional matchup.
in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Interesting.
Seattle, 13.5-point favorites over the Jets. Trap game, as Brandon said. Brandon, is that going to be your first pick of the week? Jets plus 13.5.
Who are they playing?
Seattle.
Seahawks.
Oh, maybe.
Better question. Can former front-runner for MVP Russell Wilson even put up 13 points for Seattle? Because if
No.
not, you're scooping chips.
I might take the Jets.
House money with the doubler on it.
If that line goes up a little bit more, maybe they give them like 16. I'd take the Jets. And I
Jets.
They might win
team
45-0.
in the league, Brandon, that could possibly let you down more than Las Vegas would be the New York Jets. Don't do it.
It's a risky pick. Trust me.
Some other big spreads for the
I'm here
weekend.
for
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Green Bay over the best winning percentage head coach in National Football League history, Darrell Bevell. His Lions are 7.5-point dogs against Green Bay at Detroit. And New Orleans is 7-point favorites over Philadelphia. Those are the largest lines of the week. As far as matchups go, one of the better games of the week, Monday night.
While we're
Baltimore
recording.
versus Cleveland for
Fuck
week
yeah.
14 in Cleveland. Boom.
I don't know what I'm doing for that one.
Is Kevin
I like
Stefanski the
Cleveland.
lead runner for Coach of the Year?
No.
Getting that Cleveland team to 9-3, is Stefanski the lead runner for
Who's-
Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
The Bills coach right now.
Sean McDermott.
Yeah, he's
But the
doing a
Bills were
fucking
good
hell of a
last year
job.
and a playoff team. Cleveland was not.
What about Flores? I know
Flores?
he doesn't have 9 wins.
I think Flores could be talked about.
I don't know if you said Florida's or Flores. Either one works.
There's some good coaches out there. He's
No.
not going to cut it.
Sunday Night
Baker
Football
Mayfield.
next week. Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. Good game, too.
Just doesn't do what idiots do. What was his quote?
Who?
Baker Mayfield?
Real G's move in silence like lasagna.
No. He said something.
He did say that, didn't he?
He did.
That was about Myles Garrett. Do you guys know who? Do you know who says that?
No, what? I don't know who says that.
Who says real G's move in silence like lasagna?
G-Unit?
No.
Come on, it's Biggie Smalls.
This is kind of disappointing me
Warren
right
G?
now. You're on the right. Obviously, it's rapper.
It's
You're on the
Tupac.
right. No, way more recent than
Lil Wayne.
most of the people you're saying. Lil Wayne.
Told you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, you've
I'm
never
not
listened
a
to
rap
Drop the World?
enthusiast.
I don't remember that line
6
from
foot,
it.
7 foot?
I don't remember that
8
line
foot
from it.
hut.
Bitch, real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Mine is more.
I'm pretty sure that was...
Do your chain hang low? Do it wobble to the flow?
that's not rap. That's hip-hop.
Is it platinum? Is it gold?
When you throw it over your shoulder.
Where
When
high,
high make it
low.
cold.
Kind of following up on what Mary Kay just asked,
So
you,
your
what's
chain
different about you now
hang
as
low.
opposed to a month ago, last year,
Is that
whatever?
your chain?
Something
24
looks
inches
different.
is out.
What's different?
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, then I don't do that.
That was Baker Mayfield's post-conference over this last game. It is a quote from The Office. Dwight Schrute says it. But he pulled
Honestly?
it off very clean.
Yes.
And then, I like Baker Mayfield. I've always liked him, but he's getting a little bit of that swagger back. He's getting a little more saucy.
Is this Browns team better off without Odell Beckham Jr.?
I'd say yes.
I'm all in on getting rid of Odell Beckham in the offseason.
What was that?
Yeah.
It's like I'm hearing whispers of Gage's past.
Let this Browns team roll with Chubb, with a massive Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
When
And
OBJ,
a little bit of Jarvis Landry sprinkled in.
when OBJ tore his ACL, Gage's Rage came on the podcast and said he will be a top 10 quarterback the rest of the year without OBJ.
But he's not.
Without OBJ,
But he's not.
he has the ability to spread the ball around and do what he does.
Gage.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield as a top 10 quarterback is about as absurd as me saying Justin Jefferson's a top 5
when
wide
was
receiver.
OBJ hurt? Week 9?
Baker Mayfield
Week
has not been
2
a
or
top
something.
10
It was not
quarterback.
week 2.
It was not
recent.
week 9.
OBJ injury.
No, it
that's
was like
what
week
it is.
7? 6 or 7? No, dude. We'll give you
I'll
your
find
moment. Okay, we'll give you your
Week
moment.
7. So since week 7 to right now, on my fantasy
Is
league,
Brandon looking up the stats?
I can pull up stats.
Gauges.
No.
I don't trust Gage. He's compromised.
Dude,
He has an ulterior motive. I'll butthole bet
Okay,
you $5,
Gage,
Gage. That
with-
Baker
me
Mayfield's
and
not
Brandon
top
already
10.
have this butthole bet.
Oh, you guys already made it?
Week 8 through 12, we have Baker Mayfield. He's got him as a QB1. I have him not as a QB1.
So he's top
Exactly.
12. So he's a top 12 fantasy quarterback. You got to
Yep.
remember it's fantasy.
Yes.
So I can filter from week 8 to the current week now.
You got
Does
to
it,
show me.
does it go to
Top
13?
32 quarterbacks.
Fantasy Pros only brings me to 12, and Baker is currently sitting at 30.
Down to 30 and
Number 18. Number 18 since week 13.
Okay.
Or since week 7
Week 8.
to 13.
So what's your
8 to
point?
13.
So what's your point here?
By the end of the year, he'll be in the top 12.
Oh, so your point is you're wrong.
We
And
said
you're going to be wrong.
regular fantasy season.
No, we did not. Shut up, dude. I said the rest of the year, I want Baker.
We had the injury clause in there.
No.
Where if any quarterback gets hurt, I have a scapegoat.
What level of underwriting did Gage put in this?
Uh,
Well, if Baker has a hangnail, it's a void
Dude,
bet.
The very normal amount.
I had to sign a 10-page document stating all the separate clauses that Gage had in there.
in
Hey.
blood, didn't you?
I always
In blood.
pay, though. All right? No one could say I have Welsh anywhere
Yeah,
on
you
their
do,
bet.
but you just stack the cards 16 times
No, I
into
make
a
good
situation where it'd be a
bets.
wash.
Fair bets.
All right.
I don't give odds either.
Wiener.
Hey, I'm serious, though. Who's Gage's odds-on favorite for Coach of the Year if it's not Kevin Stefanski?
He's putting it on McDermott.
McDermott's a good runner.
Joe Judge?
Mike Tomlin's not a bad choice either.
No, he's not, but they're also not going to be undefeated, so I don't think he...
They're not.
That doesn't
undefeated
matter.
anymore.
Yeah, they literally are not anymore.
I
but-
saw the odds today. The Steelers going undefeated or the Jets going winless. It was 17% Steelers. That's obviously 0 now. The Jets are at 44%.
Holy shit.
I would have guessed there was a better chance that the Steelers go undefeated than the Jets win a game.
It's football.
I think it's the other way
Jets
around.
I know. I'm saying I would have guessed it opposite. Like, I would rather put money on Pittsburgh at the time, obviously. I would have rather put money on Pittsburgh going undefeated than put money on the Jets winning one game.
I bet you they win a game.
Jets will win one at least.
It depends if Jacksonville wins one.
Then they'll have that.
They're not going to win a game as long as Jacksonville's sitting at one win.
That's fair.
They want Trevor. That's why they quarterback spied 7 people on the last play of the game against the Raiders.
Against a pocket quarterback?
Yeah. Let's not rush him. Let's just make sure he doesn't run the ball.
When he clearly needs to throw the ball.
And he moves up in the pocket, does a fucking jump pass, and throws a 30-yard bomb right on the nuts.
That's just Derek Carr, though.
Derek Carr being Derek Carr.
I hate Derek Carr.
It's so great.
Derek Carr doing Derek Carr things.
I cannot stand the Las Vegas Raiders. I will go to a game when I go down to Vegas.
That's kind of the big games of the weekend, though. Cardinals and Giants has playoff ramifications, clearly. Arizona's 2.5-point favorites on the road against New York. That's pretty much it. It's going to be a good week for football, though. And after that, you get into the week before Christmas.
Hell yeah.
So the NFL season's going to be wrapping up pretty damn quick.
Too far ahead. Let's get into the Budhole 5.
All right, here we go.
Or better known as Gage's mom. Or
Sup, girl?
Star Lamar's sex doll.
What the
Welcome to
Love her.
Welcome to the Budhole 5. Everybody knows how to play, but I'm going to explain it anyway.
Yeah, Brandon gets his fucking ass whooped.
You have 30 seconds.
35. I don't even want to say it.
Wait, who has 35? Gage's mom or us to answer
Oh
the
my
question?
god.
To name the top 5 in whatever category I give you could be sports, video games, or movies.
What happened to your car? I got egged overnight somehow.
You get 1 point for every correct answer. If there happens to be a tie after the first 30-second round, there will be 1 point for items 6 through 10.
At least it was locked.
And a tiebreaker. Wow, too soon.
Have you
look
ever
on-
had
the look on Gage's-
anti-seizure grease under your doorknobs before?
The look on Gage's
You're
face when
gonna.
Star Lamar comes walking out of his parents' bedroom tomorrow morning. Hey, what's up? Making coffee?
He winks at Gage and says, "Sup, girl."
I need a cigarette.
You keep one eye on you like a wink.
Fuck.
All right.
Is it too soon to call him dad?
We'll never call you dad.
Well, if
You don't
go
have to
based
call
on-
me dad, but you will respect me.
Based on the Budhole 5 standings, Gage is pretty much calling Star Daddy.
Oh!
Hey, you guys want to make jokes? That's fine. This game could turn real quick.
That's fair.
This is a 2 times multiplier.
And right now, you're
For
talking to the
Gage.
reigning Budhole 5 champ right now.
That
so
is
suck
a
a
later.
dick.
Later.
Yeah, that happens in the future.
All right.
All right.
My PST is talking to me.
Ignore that.
We're getting...
I
We don't
will
know
win the
who
Budhole
wins the
5
next
this
one. He's just positive thinking.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here. All right. The time will start after I read the first question, which is, which NFL quarterback has been sacked the most times in 2020? Which NFL quarterback has been sacked the most times in 2020? The Budhole 5 is brought to you by your favorite DFS site, Thrive Fantasy. They have eliminated the need to do countless hours of research because they only ask you about the top-tier athletes in a respective sport. Each prop has a fantasy point total associated with the over-under based on its likelihood to occur. So the more points a selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points to win your share of the prize pool. Use promo code BUD, B-U-D, when you sign up today and you will receive an instant $20 bonus on your first deposit of $20 or more. All
I
right.
struggled with this one.
I
one was
just
tough.
watched someone say they had the most sex, and I couldn't think the entire time I was trying to remember what game I was watching.
This one is especially tough because every time I wanted to pick a quarterback, I'm like, oh, he hasn't played the whole season.
Oh, they were out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have good answers.
All right, here we go.
We are going to start with Star Lamar, or as Gage calls him, Daddy.
Oh, fucking
I have
stop
Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, Drew Lock, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson.
Scott?
that. Lamar.
I had Matt Stafford, Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Foles.
All right, kiddo, you're up.
All right, I got Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow.
Say your list one more time.
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins.
Yikes, boys. One correct for each of you. Going into a 30-second tiebreaker
So
round.
who
who's the
was
top
the
five?
top
Yeah.
5?
Somehow, none of you said Carson Wentz.
That's the game I was watching.
Leading the league with 50.
Yeah, I should have thought of him.
Deshaun Watson, second, with 40. Wilson was 40, sorry. Stafford and Watson were 33. And coming in at 32 was Joseph Burrow.
Who did
So
these
now we're
guys
to
get
the
then?
next 5.
I got Stafford.
Scott got Stafford as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we're to the next 5.
All right, let's hit it. All right, we are going to start in reverse order.
All right.
All right, kid, you're up.
I'm sticking to the same. Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, and Sam Darnold.
Kid with conviction.
You guys are just mad because your sack hangs past your knees now.
I just need something nice for my dick to perch up on.
Oh, man, I was...
do it wobble to the flow.
Never
Can you
mind.
tie it in a knot? All right,
Does it glow?
I
in
was
the
going to
dark?
go into it, but
here we go.
my bud was not going to be happy with the joke I was going to make. So I
Next
decided to avoid
one's
it.
up. Tom Brady, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Nick Foles, Sam Darnold.
Star Lamar.
Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Jackson, Joe Flacco.
Star Lamar
Loses.
Yep.
So
Give
looks
it
like
to
you're going to need a new
me.
sex doll because she don't like losers. He got 2 correct answers, which brings it down to our final.
Do we have a winner?
We have a winner.
Chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner.
Who's it going to be?
Scott.
Winning 2 in a row. One now and one in the future.
Rage.
Gage's Rage got
Yeah,
4
boy.
correct answers.
Hell yeah.
It goes in order. Matt Ryan, Daniel Jones, bull sacked 31 times. Cousins, Darnold, and Herbert, 25.
Yeah.
Lamar, 24. Joe Flacco didn't make 18. He hasn't been sacked 18 times yet.
Well, he's only started like 3
Yeah, he
games.
hasn't played the whole season, so.
That's all he needs. Congratulations to Gage's Rage. I know
Hold
you,
it.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
you weren't a super big fan of
Next week it's coming back.
the Budhole 5 at the beginning here, but
Jackson outside of the 10?
Lamar?
Yeah.
Lamar's 11.
11.
He was the next one up there. So, all right. Well, I
Feels
think that
good to be a
concludes this
champ.
podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Check out our sponsors, which we forget to mention at the top of every episode, which would be Shock Fantasy.
Just
And
check
our
in the
boys
link
thrive.
description. Check in the
Check
link
in the link
description. You'll
description.
get the links to them and just, keep doing your thing.
Go jerk off.
Bye. Check out our website, www.officialbutthole.com. We're on all socials at officialbutthole. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Music, and we'll see you next time.